You will keep attracting the same person in different bodies until you learn the lesson. And what I mean by lesson, I mean by the love lesson. Do you find yourself always attracting the same man, the same woman? Narcissistic. They leave you, they abandon you, they cheat on you. Do you keep finding that every time you go on a date with someone, you get close to someone, they just leave? And then you pull back and think, why do I keep attracting the same person? Why does every single guy keep hurting me? They keep doing the same thing. They keep leaving me. They don't want relationships with me. They just use me. They hurt me. I give all my love to them and then they just leave. It could be anything. There could be a pattern. Emotionally unavailable, narcissist, manipulative. Do you find a pattern in these people? Do they treat you the same? And then you step back and think, I'm never going to find someone because I keep attracting the same person. I want you to think about why. Why do you keep attracting the same person? Why do you think you have bad luck? I want to speak about that today because the topic, you will always attract the same person in a different body until you learn the lesson, is a very strong sentence that we have to absorb in and reflect. And the other day, I wrote this down in my journal. Why do I keep meeting the same person in a different body? And what lesson am I not realizing? What lesson have I not learned? I need to learn this lesson to move forward, or I'm going to keep attracting different guys, but they're all going to have the same lesson. I need to find out now so that I stop wasting my time and I start to progress with my life. So I want to do a little exercise to help you kind of understand and start reflecting, because we have to step back and reflect on our past to understand what needs to change before we can move forward in the future. We need to start reflecting and understanding what is that lesson we need to learn. We need to dive deep into it now. We need to go in and find the answer so that we stop attracting the same guy but in different bodies. So we can stop the pain, the consistent crying, pain, poor me, why me? No more victim mode. No more emotionally unavailable men or women. No more. We draw the line. We are going to dig deep. And I've got a few questions to help you, for you to get out a pen and paper, notebook, journal, anything. And I want you to start pondering your thoughts, going back as far as you can into your life, back as far as you can with all the men that have hurt you, being in relationships, situationships, dating, anyone that just played with your heart like it was a violin. I want you to go and reflect on all of the past men and women so that we can move forward. Thinking about the title, you will keep meeting the same person in different bodies until you learn the lesson. I want you to absorb that firstly. I want you to absorb it. Number two, if you haven't already, I want you to have a pen and paper. And I want you to write this down. Think about the past men or women recently. Write down as many as you want. I started off with about 5. And this 5 is over life. This 5 is over the couple of years, because what I find is the more men that you can add to the list, or women, the more you can see the pattern. If you haven't dated that many people, that's absolutely fine. 1 or 2 or 3 is fine. You can still see a pattern. But the more people that you add that have hurt you in any way possible, even if you went on one date, Did they trigger something from you? Write their name down. I want you to write down 1 to 10 if you want, 1 to 5. Write down each person that hurt you. Did they leave you? Did they go on dates with you and then never respond? Did you start a situationship and they just used you and walked away? Anything. Write down their names. The next stage, I want you to start with number 1. The number 1 guy, the number 1 girl. This can be a little bit tricky because I want you to go back into the past and visualize that person. Visualize the pain that they hurt you with. What did they do? I want you to write their name and write down pinpoints, bullet points. What did they do to you? Did they lead you on? Did they take your love? Did they use you? Were they emotionally unavailable? Did they just abandon you? They neglected you? They stopped texting you? I want you to write down pinpoints to how they hurt you. What did they do? What sort of person were they to you? I want you to do this for each person. Write down as much as you can. Ponder your thoughts and write down everything that comes to mind. Did they have self-image problems? Did they stop texting you after 3 days? Did they pull away? Did they end up dating you? Anything. I want you to write down everything for each person. So start with number 1, their name, bullet points underneath. Number 2, name, bullet points underneath. And keep going. Get everything out onto paper so that we can regurgitate all of the information for our eyes to see clearly. Now, once you've finished doing that list, I want you to observe the list. I want you to go down each person and look at all their bullet points. Do you see a pattern? Do any of the guys resemble and look the same in their behavior, what they did to you, the pain? A lot of the guys will be different. That's absolutely fine. A lot of guys will be the same. Now, the question is to this, any of that resemble with you? Do you feel that you might be emotionally unavailable? Do you feel that you may have pulled back? Anything. Does anything of that resemble with you? The reason I ask this is because a lot of the time we attract our mirror, what we are inside, and the people that come into our lives. They are our mirror to who we are. So if you are meeting a lot of emotionally unavailable men or women, you are reflecting that from your inside out onto this person, and they have come into your life as a mirror. Maybe with them being emotionally unavailable, you are showing traits of emotionally unavailable people in yourself. All this pain I'm getting from these emotionally unavailable men are hurting me. So I'm going to be bitter. I'm going to start being emotionally unavailable. But you don't realize, because you start being bitter, you start taking these traits from them. And then you start thinking, I'm not emotionally unavailable. They are. I keep attracting them. We need to look at ourselves as well and pinpoint, are we reflecting our own pain out and attracting the emotionally unavailable people? Because deep down we're emotionally unavailable. And you might be thinking, no, I'm not emotionally unavailable. I'm a loving, nice person and I deserve the best. Absolutely. But sometimes we need to go back into our childhood and find, how did we become bitter? How did we become emotionally unavailable that we can't actually see that? And that always comes down to child abandonment wounds and neglect from our parents, either our mum or our dad. And a lot of the time we have to do the inner work with our child that still lives within inside of us and feel the pain of that child that we used to be, that didn't get the emotional love that they wanted as a 5-year-old. They didn't get the love and support that they needed. It could be anything. They may not have been tucked into bed on times where they really wanted it. They may have been pushed out of the room multiple times, feeling neglected and unwanted and unloved. They may have not been cherished with the love as a child. No kisses, no cuddles. Made to walk to school, never got picked up from school. Any little thing can trigger the child abandonment and neglect that we bring into adulthood. As a child, we don't realize that because we become so strong and believe that this is normal. But once we get to an age in adulthood, we start realizing, I want the love. I didn't look at those people all lovey-dovey. Why can't I have that? I didn't get that as a child. But I want it now. I want to feel the love. That is what happens when we get older. So for that question, I want you to go back into your childhood. Did you get neglected from your mom? Did you lose your mom? Did you get neglected from your dad? Did you lose your dad? Did any parent leave your life? Did your parents go through a divorce? Did your parents tuck you in every night and kiss you goodnight? Did your parents hug you and kiss you? Do you feel you could have spoken to your mom and dad as a child? Write everything down. I want you to write down all of this. You might be thinking, how has this got anything to do with my lesson? This has everything to do with your lesson because we have to go backwards to move forward. And sometimes we have to go right back to the beginning to find the answer. And then the last question, what do you think the lesson could be off the top of your mind? When looking at all of the guys or the women, all the hurt that they've caused you, all of the bullet points, what do they resemble the same? Is there anything that you feel you're portraying out, you're mirroring out, that you're mirroring back in from these guys, from these women? Is there a reflection in any of them pinpoints? Is there a reflection in their behavior? Is there anything in your childhood that comes to light from your mom or your dad, how you were brought up? Write that down. And then once you've wrote it all down, observe and find the answer. Sit there and ponder your thoughts and realize you have to analyze all of the information you have in front of you to find the answer. We have to regurgitate all of the information out. We need to reflect and observe and analyze so that we can come to a conclusion on what the lesson is. And a lot of the time it will come to you. If we're digging hard and we're digging deep, we will find the answer. And if you don't find the answer through these questions, you are already ahead because you have realized from the title of this video that if I'm going to continue attracting the same person in different bodies, there is a lesson to come out of it, and I need to find out why. You will soon find out because you have turned the switch on. The light bulb is on. You will now be looking out for that answer and it will come to you. So what do you think the lesson can be? Reflect on all the answers. Reflect. Is it that you need to start setting boundaries? Stop being naive. Do the inner work on your child abandonment wounds, because when I did this myself, I came to the conclusion that a lot of my child abandonment wounds were the answer. I attached myself to people too fast. I gave too much love too fast because I didn't get that as a child off a particular parent. And to say the least, I get that now from that particular parent. But as a child, I was so alone and independent. I had the love of both parents, but not the full emotional love. And there were times I felt abandoned when which I wasn't because I had both my parents growing up. However, As the only daughter growing up with my brothers, I felt alone. I was very independent by myself, and I had to do a lot of work on my child abandonment to find what is the cause to why I keep attracting and attaching myself to men so fast. So moving forward, after your conclusion, after what you feel is the conclusion to your lesson, I want you to make a plan. So if you feel it's a child abandonment, neglect, or start doing the inner work on your child, start loving yourself, start doing the mirror work on yourself. There are so many things you can do to heal the inner child wounds. Start seeing the pattern in what men and women do to you when you go on dates, when you start talking to someone. Now that you understand the title and now you understand what to look for, draw the line. The next person that comes into your life, observe. And this will really help you to start moving forward and stop attracting the same person in different bodies. I really hope this has helped. It is a lot of information and a lot of work to do. I will be doing more videos about child abandonment and more on healing the inner child and doing the mirror work so that we stop attracting our inner insecurities and our inner pain. But that is for you to realize that that is the work you need to do. Again, I really hope this has helped. Please subscribe. Thank you.